Hi, I'm Leah McCullough, also known as the Fibro Lady, and I'm here today to talk about the #1 food for energy and 3 easy ways you can get it into your diet. And I go all over the country just talking about how nutrition helped me recover from fibromyalgia. It's not the only piece, but it's one of the 7 steps in my book, Freedom from Fibromyalgia, 7 Steps to Complete Recovery. And the book is about 1/3 nutrition. We talk about some principles, and we talk about gut healing, and we talk about recipes and supplements as well, food-based supplements. But the #1 food for energy, let's talk about that for a second. The first hint is that this food was considered so sacred by a tribe in Africa that no human hands were allowed to touch it. Actually, they had to use special tools to work with it. So that's hint #1. Then hint #2 is it's an old school bodybuilder supplement, like back from the 1950s. And then the third hint, and this is probably the dead giveaway, if your great grandmother was in the United States, she probably ate it religiously once a week. So that's when usually people get it. And now when I tell you the answer, don't turn off the video, give me a chance to explain. The #1 food for energy is liver. Yes, liver. And I will never ask you to eat liver and onions. I don't like liver and onions, and I would never ask anybody to do that. And so I'm going to talk about 3 really easy ways to get into your diet. Well, first of all, liver is naturally high in all kinds of vitamins and minerals and iron, and it's high in vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin K2, and when raw, which we'll talk about in a minute, it's also high in vitamin C. And all that information did not convince me to try it. It just, even though it's one of the most nutrient-dense foods available to human beings, there was no way, no how. There was not this. I was not convinced to try it until I found out about this piece of information. And there was a study done back in the 1950s where they had 3 groups of rats to find out how much energy they had. So what they did is they fed all the rats rat chow, like there's dog chow and cat chow. Well, they fed them something like rat chow. And the first group of rats just had that. The second group of rats had rat chow plus a vitamin B complex. You always hear about vitamin B12, it's good for energy. And then the third group of rats had the rat chow plus liver, powdered liver added to their supplements. So they were fed this for a period of time, and then the scientists did an experiment to see how long they would swim before they gave up. So they had them in like an old garbage pail, and it had water in it, and the rats literally had to sink or swim. So they timed how long they could swim before they gave up, and then they plucked them out of the water and dried them off and put them back in their little cages, I'm sure. Anyway, so the first group of rats that just had the rat chow, they swam an average of 13.1 minutes. Now, back when I was in college, I had to tread water for 5 minutes in order to be allowed to swim at our lake house. So I think 13.1 minutes, that's a really long time. I mean, I don't know if I could swim that long myself, to tell you the truth. And I was a pretty good swimmer back in the day. So the second group of rats with the vitamin B12 added to their supplements their average swimming time was 13.4 minutes. So not a huge difference in my opinion, but still, 13 minutes, that seems like a long time. Well, the third group of rats, there were 12 in each group. The weakest swimmer, he swam for 64 minutes. That's 50 minutes longer than the rats in the other 2 groups. And I was just amazed by that. Of the 3 that were at the bottom of the heap as far as time, the other 2 were 83 and 84 minutes. And the other 9, well, they swam until the scientists got tired. At the 120-minute mark, the scientists stopped the experiment because the rats were continuing to go. And the scientists said that there was something in the liver that was anti-fatiguing to the rats. That's when I decided to try and figure out how to get liver into my diet. But I wasn't going to do liver and onions, still hate it to this day. So what I came up with for myself was 3 easy and painless ways to get liver into my diet. And I'm going to start with the biggest hassle one and work my way to the easiest one. But even the biggest hassle one isn't that big of a hassle. The first way is to add liver into any kind of ground meat recipe that has a pretty good spice profile, such as chili or spaghetti sauce. And the ratio is 2-to-1. So if you have a pound of ground beef, then you need a half a pound of chicken livers. And yeah, this does make a big pot. But what I do is I serve the livers, I cook the livers separately, then I whiz them around the food processor so the texture is the same as the ground beef, and when it's all mixed in with all the spices and tomato sauce and things like that, you can't discern a separate taste of liver. And there's a free recipe available on my website for my code word for it, there's liver in it, is energizing. So I have energizing chili on my website. If you just go to the resources link and recipes, there's energizing chili, and that's free on my website. The second easiest and painless way to get liver into your diet is with raw liver pills. So remember where I said it's high in vitamin C when it's raw? Well, you don't have to chew them. Basically what you do is you take either beef, venison, or lamb liver, and you freeze it for 14 days to make sure any parasites are killed. You partially thaw it because it's a little slippery when it's completely thawed. And you cut it into little teeny tiny pills, about the size of baby aspirins. You want them really small. Spread them on a cookie sheet, like a wax paper lined cookie sheet, so they're not touching each other. Put them in the freezer. They freeze up really quick. Then put them in a baggie. From the research I've done, I need about 1 ounce of liver in my diet a day to get these anti-fatigue effects. Anyway, so I just take the equivalent of 1 ounce with my other supplements in the morning, and you just swallow them down. You don't have to chew them, but you get all the enzymes and you get the vitamin C as well as all the other vitamins and minerals with the liver. And then the third easiest way, instructions for the raw liver pills are available in my book, Freedom from Fibromyalgia, 7 Steps to Complete Recovery. And then the third easiest way is with desiccated liver pills. Remember I was saying it was an old school bodybuilder supplement? Well, they take the liver and they pound it into tablets, and you can find it in any health food store. Desiccated liver pills. And that's, people are just starting out. A lot of times they start with to see if they have any positive benefits with that. And I also use them when I travel. The brand I like is called Perfect Supplements, and the reason they're different is because they're not defatted like every other brand on the market, and they're made with grass-fed liver, which is higher in all kinds of vitamins and nutrients and fat too, and it's the good kind. And the cows are on their natural diet that way. Anyway, so what they do is they freeze dry the beef liver, they powder it, and then they encapsulate it. They don't defat it. And this is the brand I use right here. And I get that at rippleshealthshop.com. And this is the brand my husband uses. We use it in our family. I use it for traveling. And a lot of people, they start out with that. Now, I got the best results though with the raw liver pills, but a lot of people don't want to hassle with that. So when I recovered from fibromyalgia, I got pregnant, and I had actually a really smooth pregnancy, but my worst symptom was fatigue. And then once the baby was born, they say sleep when the baby sleeps, and I did that until he turned about 3, and then he decided he didn't want to take a nap anymore, but I still needed a nap. And that's when I incorporated more and more liver into my diet with, eating a stew once a week, then having the liver pills and the desiccated liver capsules. And within 3 days, I noticed a difference in my energy. Now, I think part of that is because I had detoxified and I healed my gut, so I'm pretty sure that's why I saw such quick results. But then I was able to start working on my book. I would get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'd type for about an hour on my book before my little boy got up and I had to start my day. And then I also started training for the Air Force Half Marathon. It took me a year to train for it, and I was able to complete it. And I was, in my late 40s when that happened. So it was a pretty amazing experience. Anyway, so if you want any more information, you can go to rippleshealthshop.com. That's where they sell the desiccated liver capsules from. Perfect supplements, and every purchase at Ripple's Health Shop comes with additional detailed instructions on how to use it besides what's on the bottle. Anyway, if you have any comments, please put it in the comments section. And thank you very much for your time. My name's Leah McCullough, the Fibro Lady.